Now, getting back into the words of Rabbi Tatz, he said really an amazing idea the last time, just to refresh our memories, and that is that if Hashem is perfect, and Hashem is all-powerful, and Hashem is all-knowing, and Hashem doesn't make any mistakes, because there's no shortcomings and there's no imperfections in Hashem, so then why would He make such an imperfect world? This is really what Sam is referring to over here, where we have a world filled with tragedies. We have a world filled with people that are sick. We have a world filled with people that are going through difficult times. There's wars and there's natural disasters and there's evil at every corner. So if HaKadosh Baruch Hu is so perfect and He's so good, why would He make a world that has so much lacking and missing and so much that seems to be wrong? And we mentioned the following idea. This is the way the Rabbi Tatz explains it. That within the imperfection is where you are going to find your perfection. Which means the reason that Hashem made a world with imperfections is because we have a job and a task to do, and that is perfect ourselves and perfect the world. Hashem didn't just give us everything served on a silver platter and everything is perfect. That we would be spoiled in that way. Hashem said you got to work hard. And when you work to perfect yourself and perfect the world, right? One of the big things, tikkun misakin olam v'malchus shakai, fix up the world with Hashem's kingdom. And that means by your hard work and your efforts and your growth and your changing and you're doing things in the right way, you're making yourself better, you're making the world around you a better place as well. That's the mission of a Jew in this world. Our mission is to perfect ourselves the best that we can, which will create a perfecting effect on the world as well. And that's exactly why Hashem made the world that He did. Like Rav Hirsch asked the question in the Chumash, if Hashem is so perfect and He wants only the best for us, why would He make a world that looks the way that it does? Doesn't make any sense. A parent is going to try to give their children the best setup possible so they could succeed. I'm not going to take my kids out of my house and put them into a jungle with wolves and wild animals and say, fend for yourself and let's see what happens to you. I'm going to keep them in my home. I'm going to love them. I'm going to kiss them. I'm going to hug them. I'll take care of them. I'll give them what they need. I'll try to send them to the best schools. I'll take them on nice family vacations. I'll give them things they need. Yes, I'm going to discipline them and teach them things, but I'm going to give them the best situation and circumstances possible. So why would Hashem want the best of us and put us in circumstances that are what seemingly would be low average? And Rav Hirsch answers over there that if this is the world that Hashem put us into, then this is the perfect world. This is the best world, otherwise Hashem would have made a better world. That means this is the best situation that we can have, which is the same idea. We're here to grow and to change and to elevate ourselves and to deal with the challenges and overcome the challenges and to expand our spiritual horizons as a result of that. And therefore, this is the world. Now he says the following. This process of creation, again, Hashem made an imperfect world for us to perfect, is paralleled in the development of each person. A state of perfection that descends into near total darkness so that the work must be invested to return to the light is exactly the process that each individual experiences. Meaning, the world was filled with light, HaKadosh Baruch Hu took away the light, now there's darkness, there's unknown, the world has to get fixed up and repaired. A human being is exactly the same. How do we know? The Gemara tells us that when a fetus is in the womb of his mother, he's learning all of the Torah. He has a malach, an angel that comes, teaches him kol Torah, all of the Torah. And he's able to see from one end of the world to the other end of the world because there's a spiritual light that's like burning over his head that he's able to see everything clearly. So that is why, one of the reasons that when a pregnant woman is walking into a room, so we open the door for her, we let her walk in first, because she has an angel and a neshama that is seeing from one end of the world to the other end of the world. She's seeing it all right now. She's housing the greatest base midrash, the greatest study hall in the world inside of her. So that's what's going on inside. So every soul is having an experience of spiritual bliss and of knowledge that's beyond what anybody can imagine. However, when the baby is born, the Gemara says, he gets struck on his mouth right over here by the angel, and it deprives him of all the wisdom that he just learned, and he's born a simple, unlearned child who's driven only by the power of selfishness, which is his Yetzer Hara. So he was in a world of truth, in a world of light, in a world of holiness. Everything is amazing. He comes into this world, it's all wiped away. And all that's left for this young man or girl is a Yetzer Hara, is an evil inclination, which turns every child into a very selfish being. It's only later at the age of maturity, let's call it bar mitzvah, bas mitzvah, when the higher self, which is the Yetzer Tov, the good inclination, enters into the young adult, and now he's driven by both. He's driven by the Yetzer Hara that he's known for the last 13 years of his life, and now he's introduced to his newest friend, the Yetzer Tov, the good inclination, who only wants the best for him. At this point, says Rabbi Tatz, what ends up happening? He now enters into the arena of free will, of BECHIRA. His task now is to assert the good over the bad during a lifetime of work. You were all good when you were in your mother's womb. You come into this world, all that good, forgotten. And now, to a certain extent, you're like all bad because you're just Yetzer Hara. That on once, why are kids always whining and complaining and they throw tantrums and everything because they want things their way? And that's the Yetzer Hara, that's the evil inclination that is in them, that is making them and creating them to be selfish individuals. The amount of BECHIRA, of free will that a child has is very limited. Now, as parents, we have to train our children in order to make decisions in the right way, but it's not still going to be full free will until the Yetzer Tov, the good inclination comes inside of them, and now they've got the angel on one shoulder and the devil-looking fellow on the other shoulder, and they're both saying words into his head of, you should do this, you do that, and he has to start making a decision. So we don't even live a life of BECHIRA fully until we get to that stage. Now he says, from the Ramchal was one of the famous philosophic, ingenious minds of the last centuries, and he says that humans are not born in that state of balance of good versus evil and BECHIRA from the beginning, because there must be an experience of pure goodness followed by its total absence, so that free choice will have the power to develop human perfection and equally to plunge the human into extreme evil. You had to have all of the good that you had while you were in your mother's womb with the angel and the purity and the holiness and the sanctity that was there. And you were able to see the world from one end to the other, which means you were able to, everything was clear to you. But now when you come into this world and you go in, you plummet here, as he's saying over here, into a world of darkness, because you no longer have that, you have to be given the ability to have both the light and the darkness. Both of these states are real possibilities because both polarities have been lived. Even though you didn't really live in this world yet, all of the things, but it's all embedded and enmeshed inside of your neshama. Now, he says it has to be like that. It has to be that you knew what was fully good, and now you have to know what's really bad. Because if the human condition began as a balance between these polarities of good and evil, if you just came into this world naturally, you never had anything beforehand, and you came into this world good versus bad, that's just normal for every person, then that would be its essence, and we would never be able to exit that condition to become completely good or completely bad. The point that he's making is that the goal of BECHIRA, of our free will, is to make so many good decisions in our life that we can fix ourselves up and perfect ourselves and make ourselves completely good if we want to. And if we misuse our BECHIRA and we make the wrong decisions in life, so then what's going to end up happening to us? We're going to end up pulling ourselves down, and we can become completely evil and bad if we want to. If we came into this world even as it was, then you would never have really a draw one more in the direction than the other. You would just kind of coast through life, like always equal on the scales of good versus bad. That's how it would work. But since that your neshama knows what it means to be completely good, and now you live in a world of, until at least 13 years old, of somewhat of a spiritual darkness, and you see that there's a lot of bad, and you can open your eyes and see in this world there's a lot of negativity. If you want to go down that rabbit hole, you could if you want. It's up to you. So our mission is to use our BECHIRA, our free will, to choose that which is proper for us. Somebody had the hand up? No? Okay. And just to finish off this little part of this paragraph, he says, in a perfect world, which is what Hashem did not make, there's nothing to fix. Evil makes free will and its extremes possible in the world that needs correction. So we look at evil as bad. He's looking at it as good. Because if you don't have evil and you don't have bad, then you'll never have anything to correct and fix.
What, wasn't it a perfect world for like 24 hours?
Well, so but even there, the potential for bad existed. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a perfect world. We didn't expect that the first man, Adam, would succumb to the powers of evil because he was so much good, but even he did. And that it's almost, he's saying it's almost like, it's really what he's speaking about, it's almost like our benefit because it gives us something to do all day long. It gives us the battle cry of trying to perfect ourselves in this world. And he says the world can be broken, and that's what Adam did. He broke the world. He chose to break a world that was close to perfection so that it would require far more extensive work to fix. Meaning, don't think that Adam Arishon, the first man, wanted to destroy the world. He was convinced that if he eats from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, he's going to give himself and everybody else a greater mission in this world. And that will mean I'm breaking the near perfection of this world. And now I'm going to have to combat on a regular basis the evil forces and the bad and the negative forces of this world. But that will give me the ability to keep fixing up myself and fixing up the world. And then I'll merit to have a much greater portion in the world to come. And I'll be elevated, I'll get closer to Hashem. Meaning in the mind, in the mind of Adam, I'm not doing a sin. I'm making the world more advantageous for every individual. We're going to have to work harder to get to that ultimate goal.
The first 24 hours, like the Father says, that it would possibly be a sin.
If he would not have sinned,
And then there would
then there would be
have been
no BECHIRA.
no intention of giving a Torah.
Well, Torah would have been given to Adam. In the first, what?
What follows?
Mitzvahs, to do the mitzvahs. But the Torah is what is the perfection of the world. Maybe we'll see. I don't know.
But you said the angels don't need the Torah. They had it before they gave it to Moses. But they weren't living off the Torah. They were just living with God.
Correct.
So there's no need for it. You didn't need to believe in God because
No, they believed in God. The angels believe in God, and Adam believed in God.
things. Only humans need the Torah, not angels.
Right. So
Again,
other.
if you create a perfection, a utopia, you wouldn't need a Torah either because it's all you're living the Torah.
Okay.
I would think. I don't know.
Okay.
That's my interpretation of it.
Okay. Well, we could go back and forth on that.
But you can also say that God knew that this is only going to be, let's say, 24-hour perfection and it's over. Exactly. He knew it wasn't going to be.
Well, of course, Hashem knows everything, right? But still, again, Hashem knows everything, but it doesn't limit our free will. So let's see. So listen the way that he explains it. Adam wanted more room to express the essential godly quality of his free will. And that's what he achieved. Meaning, just what makes us godly? We're all created b'tselem Elokim, in the image of God. What is the image of God that we have? That just as Hashem chooses to do what he wants to do, so too I can choose what I want to do. Now, if the world is near perfection and there's really no challenge to do what I want to do, so then I'm not exercising my godliness because I'm never really making a decision. So Adam said to himself, well, I want to reveal my godliness in this world. So I need to be in a situation where I'm going to have to exercise my free will. So therefore, let's make a world less perfect right now in order that I'll have to see through the imperfections, the good and the evil, and try to make the right choice. Within the chaotic damage that he caused lies the merit of the work that he must do to fix it. And that's why it says in the Gemara, let us give thanks to our forefathers who sinned, for without them we would not have come to the world. That's a puzzling statement. I should be grateful for the people that sinned before me, because if not, I never would have come to the world. And the answer is yes, because they sinned, so the world remains in imperfection. And that means you need to come to this world to perfect the world. If the world would be perfect, Hashem doesn't need you. The world's already a perfect place. So therefore, we're grateful if you appreciate the gift of life. Therefore, I'm grateful that Adam and the previous generations never perfected the world in the right way and they sinned. That's why I'm here. So now what's my task? My task is to perfect the world. The sins of the fathers damaged the world beyond measure, but in doing so, they brought into being generations of humans who can use their free will to fix that damage and earn immeasurable reward. An amazing idea. It's not a punishment to be here. It's a gift to be here. And the fact that they sinned in previous generations and didn't fix up the world yet means Hashem's giving you a chance. He put you into this world to fix up the world. And every tikkun, every fixing that you do, you're gaining immeasurable rewards in the world to come. So, in Yetz Hashem, we should be zeich, we should merit to be able to use our gift of life to correct ourselves and the world to the best of our abilities.